Spoiler warning for this out-of-theater raw reaction to Superman, the movie of 2025, live action, all the jizz jazz. Let's get right into this. This movie honestly surprised me. We're in a weird state right now with the whole Marvel and DC universe. Now, I'll be straight up with you guys. I was been a little out of the loop of the whole DC and Marvel universe since Endgame way back in 2019. I've still seen movies here and there, but I'm not in the loop as much as I would like to be, so that's something I really want to focus on for the remainder of this year and then going into the foreseeable future. But just focusing on this movie alone, I think it really did Superman justice as a superhero in this universe. I really like the character, and something that this movie really offers is just a nice diversity of characters that you grow to appreciate. And there's so many different plot points, there's so many different dynamics that go on that work. There's just there's a nice array of characters to follow, and everything just works really nicely in my opinion. I like the low grounded moments the best. I weirdly think I like the low grounded moments almost more than just the action stuff because it feels rewarding. The action stuff feels rewarding because you're starting to humanize these characters. We see Superman and his girlfriend Lois Lane you see those low grounded moments with them. You see their concerns, their point of views, their struggles, their mindsets. Like, it all worked. And I'll be honest, I went into this movie, I'd say a good 5 minutes in, I wasn't too sure where the movie was heading. I did like at the start how they kind of just went on a timeline essence of everything going in three. So you had 3 centuries, this happened. 3 decades ago, this happened. 3 years ago, this happened. 3 minutes ago, this happened. I really wanted them to end that off by just 3 seconds after Superman shows up on the screen in the ice. Just say, 3 seconds ago, Superman is nearly dead in snow on the floor. That would have been really funny. But anyway, I'm just gonna be really blunt with this. Crypto the dog was my favorite character. He was so cute and so adorable. I loved every scene that he was in. And there, like I said, there's just so many characters that work. Lois Lane, huge shout out to Rachel for doing Lois Lane. She nailed that. The casting in this movie I think was amazing. Just want to get that right out the bat. I don't think there's a single actor or actress that really was amiss. They all knew the assignment. Basically, that's how I can say it. They absolutely knew the assignment. And even the robots at the very beginning that were in that realm that had some of Superman's info, in the Arctic, in the snow, they were kind of cool characters too, especially robot number 4 kind of had the limelight. Now, in the end of the movie, he wanted to be called Gary. So you know what? Sure. You deserve to be called Gary. I will call you Gary. So Gary is robot number 4, and for someone who doesn't really have a conscience, doesn't really have feelings and emotions like that, honestly, is a pretty nice comic relief character, almost. And something I really liked about this movie is how you don't particularly follow Superman all the time. You actually follow some other characters too. Mr. Terrific might be one of my favorite characters of the entire movie. He had such a nice presence. He obviously was by far, it's not even close, he was the best one out of the trio of him, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl. But Mr. Terrific was fantastic. I was so glad. It's really when he went on that not solo, but the mission as a duo with Lois Lane, that's when he really, really went high up for me. That's when it just kickstart, And all the action sequences were great. I thought everything was really well done. I'm glad this movie didn't shy away from having too many they didn't shy away from having some actual gut punching scenes or sequences, when seeing the little black, I guess crypto just go into Superman's mouth and entering his lungs trying to kill him. That was dark, but I'm it's so eerie that they went that drastic measure. It is a PG-13 movie, so you can't complain, but this movie really just doesn't shy away from that. You have the unfortunate sequence. I don't know his name, so I'm not going to assume it, but it was that one dude who was a supporter of Superman. You saw him briefly in the beginning, and then in the middle of the movie, there's an interrogation scene with Superman threatening to kill this guy in front of him if Lex does not get the answers that he wants from Superman, and he just straight up shoots him. It was a very quick sequence. It happened so quick, and it's oh my goodness, that's actually just I can't believe they did that. That's really sad. And the whole movie at that point almost helped you just feel the stakes even more. And Lex Luthor, my God, this guy is an incredible, just antagonistic character. Does such a good job, the actor, of making you hate Lex. But he is despicable, but he has these really weird motives. But, like, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but let's just say he is the #1 Superman hater on the planet. That's established in this movie, I'll tell you that much for sure. And there's even some side characters that really work. Jimmy, who was working at the same place as Lois Lane, such a cool character. I loved whenever scene he was on, and like, I don't know what he was, but he had some game to him. Like, you had the one woman that, what was her name, Lara, or something like that. She was a nice comic relief character too. They had some funny moments with her and Jimmy. And I think I probably, if I had to pick my favorite scene, it's probably like that early on scene where it's just Lois Lane and Superman just kind of in Lois's apartment, just talking things over. It feels very natural, and like I said, they did a great job of humanizing Superman and just a lot of the characters in general, so you see them outside of just being superheroes and just action sequences and, you know, using powers, all that good stuff. It does such a good job at all those things. It ticks off so many boxes. I think this movie, for the foreseeable future of what's to come in the DC universe and this kind of phase, this present day timeline we're running into, I think it's really promising. Now, in terms of all the movies I've seen this year, I would put it second. I still would say F1 the movie is the best movie I've seen this year so far, but Superman is definitely second on my list now. I still do need to see the Fantastic Four. I've heard some good and bad things about it, but I still need to go see the Fantastic Four. So we'll see where that ends up in my ranking. That probably will be the next movie I go out to see and then get the review out as well. But overall, I don't have too many cons about this movie. Like I said, the beginning I just didn't know where things were going quick enough, I felt like. And overall, I had a nice watching experience from the movie. And all the characters at the end, I think, has satisfying, conclusive arcs, if that made sense. I like the narrative of Superman just being against the Earth and being almost like a traitor in a sense, with the messed up message from his parents. That was really impactful. And I like that we even had a scene of him talking to his father. That was such a nice moment. Like I said, this movie just does a really good job of giving you those low grounded moments. And I just would definitely like to see more within this universe. Like I said, Superman has never been one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. I don't hate him, but there's just other ones that I prefer more. Like, me personally, I would say I'm mostly an Iron Man guy. Maybe Spider-Man too, but mostly I'm an Iron Man guy. But Superman, just from this movie, I think they did a really good job. And when I was seeing how they also portrayed him in the comics, I think they did a pretty good job representing that on the big screen. But hopefully I can get some people in here to discuss this movie. Let me know your thoughts, something that I should have brought up, because I'll probably agree with you. I really did like this movie. It was really good. I give it a solid, I'd say like 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, I think, is what I'd give it. We'll see how that settles, like, long term. Sometimes you have to see how things age. But yeah, this movie, really good. Let me know what you guys think about it, since I assume if you're watching this video, you have seen it too, because you don't want to get spoiled. And I said at the start, spoiler warning. But yeah, Superman movie review checked off. And one more side note, Engineer, really good antagonistic character. The clone of Superman, really interesting character. Now that is like truly it, I promise.